Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
which is the best psychological thriller movie out there? The Silence of the Lambs is way up the list. I really think it's unfortunate that Ted Levine's performance was overshadowed by Anthony Hopkins. Hopkins deserves a ton of credit for that role, but Levine's acting when the girl in the well is begging for her mommy is top-notch. The few seconds where you can see that he's coming close to humanizing her is incredible. To be fair, he did eventually end up very high in the San Francisco PD after that. I dunno about best, but I really like I Trapped the Devil. A man invites his family over for dinner. Hasn't seen them in ages. Then he drops the news, he has trapped the devil himself in a cabinet in his basement. The family is surprised when a voice comes from that cabinet, asking to be let out. It's really frigging good. Whole time you're asking if he's just crazy or if it really is the devil in there. Edited. I misremembered what the voice in the cabinet sounded like. My gut would probably tell me that if the devil were real he wouldn't be so easily trapped into mortal cabinetry. Yeah, it's hard to imagine how he could possibly have done what he claims. His family is very concerned. That's the best part. That one with Kevin Spacey and Brad Pitt. Edit. Shay 7 N 1995. Zodiac is another good, also Fincher. That scene in the basement at the end, great tension building. Not many people in California have basements. This is one of the scariest scenes in any movie I've seen. I still get chills thinking about it. I watched a YouTube video once on why this scene was so scary and it was really interesting to see the filmmaking techniques they used. I'd try to look it up but I'm at work and YT is blocked. Edit. Okay, I looked for it over lunch. Pretty sure it's this one. https://youtube.be/yergcb0_v6y. Fincher not finishing Mindhunter was the greatest mindfuck of all time. I thought Prisoners with Hugh Jackman was extremely underrated. That movie was so damn good. You'll be on the edge of your seat the whole time. Paul Dano gave a captivating performance with minimal dialogue. He always plays such a good creeper. He was also great in Taking Lives. Memento, 2000. Second this. Such a unique film with some massive mindfuck moments. Rear Window. The scene where she breaks into the murder's apartment. My wife says every time she sees it she believes this time she'll be caught. That's great filmmaking. My wife says every time pinched fingers. I never fail to have a visceral, physical fear reaction when the husband is opening the apartment door and she's still in there. One of the most intense film scenes I can think of. Way down here I see the first Hitchcock film. Damn. And you could list several more. North by Northwest, Vertigo, Psycho, though at the time it was probably horror. The Rope is so good. If memory serves, the entire movie is in one room. All dialogue, well written, and completely engaging. When I first watched it, I expected the scene to change. Then didn't notice it never did till then. End. Dial M for Murder. I thought Rear Window was great in terms of a single room film, then I saw that movie. Nightcrawler is very good. IMO. For some reason this movie left me feeling incredibly disturbed. Unlike anything I've ever felt from a movie before. It wasn't a bad movie at all, but I remember saying out loud that I would never watch it a second time. Same here. I check under my bed every night so that Jake Gyllenhaal isn't there. To me, it's because the film score seems unaware of the fucked up things Gyllenhaal's character does. It sounds like he's a hero and role model, and this is his admirable origin story. As the viewer, you might suspect others do view him as admirable. Has our modern, media-centric society's morality and incentives degraded to where this behavior is respected as a viable way to get ahead? Here's one I never hear talked about: Coherence. It is a low-budget film but blew my fucking mind more than nearly any other blockbuster film. I love Coherence. The low budget, in my opinion, actually helps this film because the limited sets, effects, and camera work make it feel much more intimate and real in a way. They didn't try to go crazy, they worked with what they had and it was fantastic. There's a fantastic interview he does with Patton Oswalt in which he goes into a lot of detail about how the movie was made. They ran it like a LARP. The actors all improvised all of their lines and did what their characters would do. They shot a ton of extra video and edited it down to a coherent story. The lead actor didn't even realize she was the main character until she saw the final film. The Prestige. Really nice movie. It's so amazing when you watch it the second time and see how greater than. It's extremely obvious as to what's going on. The entire movie tells you repeatedly and telegraphs it the whole time. Except just in a way that most of people won't pick up on. The entire movie really is one big magic trick and it's fucking awesome. Less than. I really feel like it's one of the best movies ever made as I don't think I've ever seen another movie that does this as well as it did. I think it helps that the premise is ridiculously outlandish. But the mood of the film is very serious and more like a drama. Of the two competing stories, one makes no logical sense, the other is actually science fiction. On paper this story just shouldn't work. But somehow the script and acting nailed it. The Game with Michael Douglas. My favorite part is when they are climbing up a fire escape and one of his shoes falls off. Nicholas. Well, there goes $1,000. Christine. Your shoes cost $1,000. Question mark. Nicholas. That one did. Quote. I used to love this movie until I watched it with my wife and she ruined it for me by pointing out the many plot holes in it. And I had to admit she was right. It's sad cause I love the atmosphere and general idea of the movie. Plus Michael Douglas is great in it. But I hope they remake it sometime. You can still enjoy a movie for what it is, despite the plot holes.